just few protocols before we start. And I think most people who joins today knows me, and so I'm not going to spend time to introduce myself. It's a 40 minutes, 40 minutes call. Just 2 points of protocol. The first point is that I'm actually recording this one, so it will be available for people or through my YouTube channel, SM Dojo channel. It will be available so they can benefit from the discussion. The second point is because I've sent you the details through my email newsletter. Therefore, you are subscribed to the newsletter for the future editions. So if you don't want to receive it, you can by all means you can unsubscribe. Okay. So the thing is, the purpose is a lot of people have come and asked me, a lot of career related, mentor related questions. So I thought while we are sitting at home, working from home, there's a good opportunity. We should have this, webinar, answer your questions, see what you feel about that, right? So the question was more, the purpose of today's webinar is more about, your career related or mentor related questions. I think a few people are still joining. I have sent you the questions. I think there's some very nice questions people have sent me. So they were there. You can have a look as well. I've shared the name as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a few questions which I like to answer, and then after maybe let's call it 10, 20 minutes, I will open to people. Some of you has already sent me the questions. I can see I've selected, so I'm going to select people which I can see their names on the call, and they are also available. They have sent me the question before. Some of the people who actually send me good questions are not on the call, right? So let's start anyway. So the first question which I like to answer, I think this Sandy Miram has sent me the question saying, why mentorship matters in supply chain? I think it's a very, very, very good question. Mentors fine tune and transform your vision. Whatever you want to do, there's some confusion, they help you think those through, and they provide some ideas and thoughts and insights which enables you to see things which you probably have not noticed. I mean, there's a saying in Urdu which says, talking to a scholar is almost like for 1 hour is almost like reading 10 books. So if you talk to somebody who's senior, who's experienced, who's gone through the circles of life, can give you some good tips. So that was, I think, very good question. There's two questions from Mohammad Adil Dalvi and Lucky Oyango. I think they are two very relevant questions, which I would like to answer. I think the questions were, what are the must-have skills that a supply chain professional should acquire in order to be job ready? The second one, I think the one Lucky was asked, what are the steps I need to take to get to the next level or move up in my career? Very valid question. A lot of people ask this. So I'm gonna ask, there's basically three things I want to emphasize. So one is your technical competencies, right? So what I mean by, so one is technical competencies, second is your leadership skills, and the third is your communication skills, right? And actually in that order, right? When I say technical competencies, I think I've written a blog on that. What I mean by that is how much you know about demand planning, master production scheduling, inventory management, material planning, logistics, warehousing, distribution, trade management. How much you know about the technical aspects of that situation. So that is what I mean by the technical knowledge, which I think the more you learn, the better it gets. And technical knowledge actually improves over the period of time, is actually changes over the period of time as well. So what you need to do is to keep yourself updated with the information which is available to you either through my blog, through Google, wherever. The second is communication. Communication is important. So when I do my master classes or when I teach in the university, sometimes I emphasize that our job as a supply chain professionals is to manage information flow. So the better we are in managing information flow, the better we are in managing material flow, right? So communication across the organization through your to customers, through your functional heads, to your stakeholders, to your peers, if your manager to your direct reports are super important. So you need to be super tight in communicating uh, as well. It doesn't matter you have to be introvert and extrovert. It doesn't matter. Choose however you like to communicate. But what is most important is to communicate clearly and precisely. The third is leadership skills. Again, leadership skills is a separate topic, but the more you demonstrate, the better you got a chance to actually move up in the organization, right? So this is what I would like to answer. A few other people are joining. Let them enter. Ali Akbar. Ali is in. I think Ali Akbar sent me a very good question. Right. Okay. Ali, can you hear me? Mr. Ali Akbar, I think he's joining. Okay, so let Ali join and see if he can make himself available on the camera. So far, he's not. Okay, and Shafak has joined as well. I'm not sure Shafak has sent me the question. Okay, so meanwhile, while we're waiting for Ali, I can see we have Akash on the phone. Akash Shachideva. Akash, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, Akash, this is your time, my friend. Share your camera, please. Ask your question. So I would like you to do this. Tell your name. Tell me about how long you're working in supply chain,
Just a second.
organization you're working, and ask the question.
Can you see me, sir?
Yes, I can absolutely. But Akash, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. So what about you, sir?
Yes, very good, very good. Thanks for joining. So yeah, fire away. What's your question?
So I'm an MTech Industrial Engineering student at IIT Delhi, India. So my question is, being an industrial engineering student, I'm looking forward to be to have a career in supply chain management. So my question was, what skills should I have being an industrial engineer to gain an edge over other streams which are leading to supply chain management careers?
Okay, great. Very good question, Akash. So just to give you some perspective, so my master's was also in production management, which is basically an off branch of industrial engineering, right? The good
Okay.
news is when you're studying industrial engineering, of course, you talk about the logistics, the material flow,
Yeah.
right? You talk about the process management, you talk about quality courses, Six Sigma and Lean, right? All of
Yeah.
those skills you're learning, in fact, are very much applicable to the current supply chain of any organization, right? Either you work for a distributor, if you work for a manufacturing organization, anywhere where the supply chain exists, they are applicable, right? So you can use the good things you're learning in terms of, how you reduce waste by using your lean techniques, how you reduce your variation by using your Six Sigma skills you have learned, right? And especially the process focus, because as I keep saying to you, most things we do in supply chain are essentially a processes. And what is a process? Process as a box of activities, which could be demand planning, pick, pack, ship in a warehouse. It could be basically replying to your customers. It could be doing simple, setting up a Kanban, whatever, right? All of those are essentially processes, and all of those as an input and an output. So industrial engineering will help you to think like this, and it gives you an edge from people who hasn't come from the engineering background or industrial engineering background. So that's one part. But there's a downside for the industrial engineer. The downside is that you haven't really learned the soft skills which is required in supply chain, right? So what I mean by soft skills is, especially when you talk about the procurement skills, for example, relationship building, negotiation, and managing suppliers, spend management. These kind of soft skills you have not really learned in your course, right? And this is something what you can acquire, you can learn more. And how you're going to do that is, again, there's an organization like SIPS, Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply, which have some courses which you can go and do online. My theory is pull method of study, understand what you lack, and go and do it. So I would say leverage your strengths which you are learning from industrial engineering. The gaps is around more, I think, more around soft skills which you can go and close that. And as I said, improve your communication, because engineers I'm an engineer myself, we are not generally very good in communication, improve your communication skills, improve your, I would say, the leadership skills. And I think let me tell you good news for you, because what you learn as an industrial engineer over the period of 4 or 5 years, whatever your time is, in the long-term career over the period of, let's call it 5 to 10 years, it will benefit you more than in the short term, right? So you just need to be patient.
Okay.
The skills will be very, very useful, what you have learned. Okay, thanks for a good question.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right, okay, good.
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
Mr. Mudassar, how are you?
I'm good. Who is this?
Yeah, Kamran here actually. I am attending your this seminar webinar for the first time.
Good.
I used to follow you since long, but I never been in touch with you. Okay,
Kamran.
by any
Hi, Kamran. Can you just put yourself on a mute? I've got few questions to go through, right? And then we'll come to you. Is that okay?
Okay, no issue. No
Okay,
issue.
thank you, Kamran. Okay, Ali Akbar, is Ali there? I can see his name, but somehow he's not talking to me. Okay, I think he's gone. Okay, we'll come back to Ali. Okay, so who else? Isa is there, right? I think Akash have good question. Isa Bilal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi Isa, how are you? So yeah, tell your name, about yourself, your experience to the people. If you like to share your camera, would be great.
Okay. I belong from Lahore. I am a materials engineer. I recently completed my MBA, and I'm working as a business development engineer for a fabrication company in Lahore.
Okay. So what is your question, Isa? Fire away.
My question is that how to initiate a career in supply chain. This is my first question.
Right.
And secondly, I want to ask that if I want to start my own supply chain consultancy or my own venture or startup, I say, so what will be the business model or nature of that? I hope you understand the question.
Basically, let me explain your question correctly. So first of all, you don't work in supply chain right now, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay. So forget about, so if you want to offer your own consultancy and your own venture, you generally offer in something which you're really good at, right? You cannot really think of, offering your consultancy or your career, as a services unless you're expert. I mean, I'm doing supply chain for the last 15 years and I still don't have a confidence without, knowing a real problem. Then I can be super confident that I can solve the problem. So basically, your second part of question is irrelevant, right now.
Fine.
Because you haven't really started that, right?
I understand that.
So let's start with the basics. So again, the common question is this: people hear about supply chain is a growing career and they want to move to supply chain, which is a great news. And that is one of the missions I have, and that is exactly what I'm doing right now: is to encourage people like yourself to come to that profession, which I think has a fantastic future going forward, because a strategic awareness of this function is growing. So what I would say is this: start reading, right? Start reading the blog, sign up for SIPS or Apex. They are the two big organizations, your local college. Start learning the theory. And let me tell you one good news. You just need to read 1 or 2 basic books of supply chain, and then you will be up and running. Nice. So supply chain is mostly common knowledge. And so that's the learning theory part is easy. What is difficult is basically get involved in your organization. So you need to go and talk to your boss. And what business do you work in? What do you guys do?
This is mechanical construction.
Great.
We fabricate vessels.
Perfect. So what you could do here is you can basically talk to your manager and start getting involved in some planning activities. Start getting involved in logistics part. Understand total lead time, understand customer service, understand demand management. So once you start learning those things and those concepts, and then start searching on Google, as I said, read the blog, read the book, and that's it. And once I now also recommend you not to spend too much money right now. So let's get the flavor of the job on the job. Once you learn that, and then go ahead and do a course. Okay.
Right.
All right. Good question, Bilal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's done. And we have again. I'm gonna come to Ali. Ali is not there, but Ali is not asking the question. We're gonna ask the Ali's question. So there's a guy named Ali has sent me the question. Hello, Ali. Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Ask the question, Ali. Please introduce yourself and ask the question.
From and I was very experience and on board with Banfandi, about the production plan.
Ali,
So, what question now
first,
about the demand planning career plan and how can you hear me?
no, Ali, we got a problem in hearing you, so I'm gonna mute yourself because there's a distortion in your phone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read your question for you. So your question was, what will be the future of demand planners or demand planning career, and how we can use data science in that field, right? So that was the Ali's question. Again, a very, very good question. So I recently tweeted that, which I think and I shared on the LinkedIn as well, and got a few engagement in terms of likes and shares. And I believe demand planning is a very, very important position, right? It is one of the key positions in the organization. And as a carrier, I would like to say a demand planner it's in the best possible state to basically become the, let's call it, next materials manager, supply manager, and growing in the organization. So there's one very basic reason for that. So if you are working as a demand planner, then that means you have to understand the business to start with, right? Because what I mean by understanding the business is you have to understand your products. You have to understand what is the business model. You have to understand what is the demand, what is the product line, what is the seasonality, what is the market economics, what is the new product introduction. So they are all very much business related critical topics. So once you understand those business related critical topics, that means you have a good understanding of the business. And of course, you talk to your sales managers, you talk to your leaders in the business, you talk to your customers, which gives you a good understanding. But also, once you are a demand planner, you need to understand the supply side of the things. What I mean by that is you need to understand your supply constraints, you need to understand your key supply challenges, you need to understand your lead time. So all those skills which you gain working as a demand planner gives you a huge amount of knowledge to learn the business in general. Secondly, it helps you build relationship, right? You spend basically, if you're running a demand planner, you must be involved in S&OP process. If you don't have an S&OP process, what I'm thinking to do is to start an S&OP webinar and training webinar. So if you guys sign up to my newsletter, you will see that, and you can join that webinar as well. So you interact with your senior leaders, you present your skills with them, and that gives you a networking opportunity. So that's the business part. But demand planners also have the ability to communicate better. And as I said, if you communicate better, it gives you a better chance in moving up in the organization. And lastly, if you can show your leadership skills, you work with your manager, you can be a good successor. So let me give you an example. So when I was working in UK, I worked for a company called Eaton, and I have about 5 different promotions. So each time in last 12 years I worked there, I never really have to hire. We never really have to hire somebody from outside, because there was always somebody available to succeed, and that person was always a demand planner, which was available, which I have developed to replace me. Okay, so that is my really strong views on demand planners. Okay, quick question on data science. Again, data science is the key. A lot of companies are in investing money. Data will be the key in terms of good insight. So if you develop that knowledge, that would be absolutely great. Okay, so that is my insights on the demand planning. Okay, we have Abhinav. Okay, who is this? He is Mr. Srikant.
Yes, sir.
Hello, how are you, Srikant?
Yeah, fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
What about you, sir?
Good. You are one of the people I selected for the question, and you have a good question as well. So yeah, introduce yourself, how long you're working in supply chain, and ask your question.
Yes, sir. Myself, Srikanth Yadav, sir, from India. I am a BTech Metallurgical Engineering guy and with a 11 years of experience in supply chain planning. So my day-to-day duties are like there is a non-ferrous industry, manufacturing
Mhm.
industry.
Mhm.
So for that manufacturing indirect materials, I used to plan the
Mhm.
indirect materials.
Mhm.
So I have the question regarding the same, like what is the future? Because I don't have the experience directly in procurement, like negotiate what you said earlier, like
Mhm.
negotiation, placing purchase orders is not negotiation, strategic sourcing, all these things I don't have direct experience. So I am doing material planning only at the
Yeah.
manufacturing facility.
Yeah.
So what would be the future going ahead? So what can I expect? Because I have attended one course also supply chain management from SPJ in one of the institute here in
Mhm.
online. So going forward, what can I do to improve my skills and what will be the future with only planning experience?
Okay, so the thing is, only planning experience will give you a good understanding of business. Let's start with that, right? Because you must be learning about your products, you must be learning about your available manufacturing capacities if you're manufacturing. You are also learning about your suppliers. You're learning about the customer requirement, right? Uh,
Yes.
what customer want, how quickly they want, what quality they want. So you're learning all that. That's the very good benefit which comes with the planning job, right? It gives
Okay.
you insight about product, customer service, expectations, your lead time, and your manufacturing process. Because you cannot plan anything unless you know about your manufacturing processes or
Yes.
you know about your supply capability. But let's flip that. If a person who is an operational buyer who sits there and just keep placing purchase orders to the suppliers and doesn't go out to the shop floor, that person is not close to actually understanding customer demand, right? Because what's I'm assuming, again, just using my experience, the strategic procurement guys or the operational buyers generally come to you and ask you the question, oh, tell me the demand of this supplier, right? Yeah, and
Yes.
they ask you because they have got no clue about what customer want, right? And you basically, what I
Yes.
think you should do them, you basically scare them. You say, I need it now, I need it quick, and I need it cheaper, right? That's what we do as a
Yeah.
process,
Always.
always, right? And that's a scare tactics, and I would say use it, always use it. That's a good one to use it. But so as you can, so the thing is, you have done the difficult part, which is understanding the business, understanding customer needs. The procurement
Yes.
guys, they somehow seems to think it's okay for them not to understand, which I actually argue very strongly. And I think it's very important for them to understand the customer need, the customer demand, the customer lead time. Because what those guys do, they're gonna buy you a big MOQ, they're gonna buy with the cheaper cost, and they're gonna screw your inventory and they screw gonna your lead time, which is I think the bad strategy.
Yes.
So the point I'm making is, so you're on a good side of the supply chain. What you just need to
Okay.
do is to learn, as I said earlier, I think Akash, I think, is to learn the soft skills, right? Is to learn the
Okay.
negotiation. And as I said, anything in procurement and supply chain is a process. So negotiation itself is a process. It's not like magically somebody who's sweet with the tie and looking cool are a good negotiator. None of that actually, right? It's just a process which you need to learn. Similarly with the soft skills, again, it's something which you need to learn, and so that part is easier to learn. So you can have a higher chance. What I'm trying to say to you, you have a higher
Okay.
chance of learning the soft skills and relationship skills and negotiation skills to learn the procurement part, right?
Okay.
Then the other side. And if you don't believe me, test this. Let's have a one meeting with one or two suppliers. Just
Okay.
just have one or two meetings with them. And I can assure you, you will not feel. I don't even know you. I don't know how good you are. I don't know, right? But I can still assure you, you will not feel out of water. You will not, right? And you will actually come out a lot more confident than you are right now. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Okay, good question.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, good. Okay, so we have Lucky on the phone, maybe not. Okay, so I'm going to open the floor right now because I think there's a few questions I would like to pick, and there was some good questions. So anyone wants to ask me any questions? Far away.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Shweta.
Hi, Shweta.
I am a supply chain professional. I have been working with an organization as a supply chain manager for about 7 years.
Shweta, we don't see your camera. Do you mind opening it, or it's okay if you don't want to? But I'm just asking.
Oh, just a moment.
Okay. And I think you sent me a question. Hi, Shweta, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
You sent me this question about the less experienced one, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. So introduce yourself and fire away. Yeah. Looking
Yeah.
forward to hear you.
So my name is Shweta. I have been working as an assistant manager, supply chain and distribution with a company called Savannah Seeds in India till January 2020. I just quit my job and we have moved to Dubai.
Very nice.
So looking forward for some of the opportunities here. The question came across that whenever I look for an opportunity, I see myself more experienced with the demand of the job. So should I go for it or not? And second question is, the company where I worked was a manufacturing unit, and I was taking care of procurement and supply chain both. So I was the negotiator also, and followed by the purchase process also. So when I look for the procurement jobs, I find them like they are very detailed into the procurement part of it. So how I should put in across as per my profile? I need a help on that.
Okay, so two questions. So let me split into two parts as well. The first one is, I mean, first of all, maybe it's okay. Okay, that's great. Zoom has given me more time. Thank you, Zoom. The first part. So, welcome to Dubai. Maybe not the best time to come to Dubai because of the coronavirus situation. You know, nothing is moving, and it's a very unfortunate time for all of us. And therefore, I have wished it at the start. Not many people were there, but again, I wish everybody to be very safe, healthy, and your families as well. So, not a good time to come to Dubai, but come to your question. It's difficult to find job in Dubai without reference, right? So and it goes everywhere, by the way, right? So, but that's not your question. The question is this: should you go for the less experienced job? The short answer of that is yes, right? And I can share my own experience because when I was in UK until 2017, I was working as a logistics director. I was basically a regional planning manager for about $750 million organization. And but the opportunity came in as a manager, and I moved in just to basically because I want to move to Dubai for personal reasons. So I have taken opportunity as a manager rather than a director position. It makes no difference as long as it pays you a good money. So what I think is you need to apply for a jobs where maybe with the less experience, right? And I don't think you are on the other side of the learning curve, and that's fine. The most important thing right now is to get into the organization and show what you got, because once you are in the organization, you have a more chance of showing what you know, what you're capable of, and then basically grow, show your potential and grab the opportunities, right? So there's nothing wrong in applying for a job. Yes, Shweta.
So what I mean by this, that when I apply, when a job demands just an experience of 5 years, suppose I am 12 years experienced.
Right.
So will I be shortlisted for that or not? That is a big question.
I mean, that is a question a recruiter can answer. I cannot answer that, right? And again, the thing is, a lot of people try to underestimate recruiters, and I would say do not underestimate them, right? So try to network with as many recruiters as possible, and Hayes, Michael Page, whoever. I mean, I would recommend to do it. And I recently posted a YouTube video on the interview tips. I have a very good friend in
you. Read your complete 21 procurement questionnaire.
Yeah. So I would recommend to do that. I cannot answer this question precisely, but I think what you can say, do not never lie in the CV. If you have a 12 years of experience, you have a 12 years of experience, right? No problem with that. Be very factual, be very accurate in the CV. If you go and somebody asks the question saying, oh, why are you applying for a job which requires 5 years experience, you're 12 years, and you say, oh, I'm looking for a job right now. I'm very keen. I have more skills. I understand. I would like to add value. And that's it. That would be the honest answer. If you are coming to me and give me that answer, I'm interviewing you, I will be pretty cool with that. That's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
That's
So and
good.
the second part of your question what was the second part?
I'm asking you to put in like only I have got a mix of experience. I've
Okay,
worked
yeah, I remember that. Okay, so the thing is, what is more important in the CV rather than the skill is the achievements, right? So if you and I don't like if I don't, to be honest, I'm not going to like the CV if I have a job of a planner, if somebody's applying me a CV with the procurement experience, the chances of selecting that person, me personally, is very low, because what I'm going to think is that person haven't got all the relevant experience. So do not send blanket CVs. Always read the job description. Always read about the company. Customize your CV based on the job you're applying, and then send. So if you're applying for a position which is more procurement focused or purchasing focused, make sure you have a roles and responsibility which is more procurement and purchasing focused, and also it has the achievement. So do not fire a CV without achievement. I don't give a monkeys if you used to do 20 things. I really don't. What I really give a monkey is about what you've achieved. Have you saved money, right? Have you reduced my suppliers? Have you reduced my lead time? Have you reduced my MOQ? That's what I'm more worried about, right? And those achievements are more important than the list of things you used to do. All right. So the short answer to the question is customize your CV to the job you're applying, right? I know it's a hard work. I know it's more work, it's more to track, because you might be thinking, oh, I applied for this company. I don't know which CV I sent. So maybe you want to save it with dates, or maybe you want to save it with name. I know it's hard work, but this strategy of being careful and applying it with a bit more thought than just a blanket application on the LinkedIn easy is not going to work. Okay, that's the honest answer. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Who is my next friend? Any questions from floor is open? Anyone?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Vincent. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, Vincent. We can hear you. I can hear you. Yes. Please introduce yourself. What's your question?
This is Abhinav actually.
Okay, Abhinav. Yes.
Yeah, I'll just switch on the camera.
So you are the one who sent me the question of I completed PG and operations management, 3PL, etc. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Abhinav. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So yeah. So far away your question, please. Yeah. Introduce
Yes.
yourself first.
So actually,
What do you do?
All right.
Abhinav?
So I'm Abhinav, and I've been working in a supply chain industry for about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm working in a company called SS Supply Chain Solutions Private Limited. It's in Gurgaon in India.
Right.
So the basic problem that I face, we provide. So when I meet, I usually unable to distinguish between what their actual problem is. I am unable to reach the root cause of the problem. Give them solutions like solutions or last mile delivery or route optimization and other things. But I'm unable to reach the root cause, what actually is the problem in the supply chain. So what are the factors by doing which I can understand, what the actual problem is. And if it's like I can have some kind of questions by just conversation with the customer, I can come to know, okay, what is your actual problem? So that I can give them best solution to them.
Okay. The thing is, Abhinav, I have missed the earlier part of your question. So let me repeat your question. What are you saying? You work for 3PL, you provide them 3PL solutions, right? And you have a difficulty in understanding the root cause of the problem. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is. So what's your job? What do you do?
Why? Because I always just I'll add one thing. So usually I take little time to take their data to understand what is their problem in the supply chain. Rather than that, it always it takes about 1 month to collect the data and do the analysis. So I do analysis in the supply chain. So the time passes a lot. So I do not want to pass that time. I want to give the solution so that customer can stick together a lot. So that's how I want to improve the service level to them. So only then I can move into
Okay.
my ladder.
Right. Very, very relevant question. So actually, I'm gonna give you answer in two ways. And let me, if you just give me a minute, I want to share something with
Yeah.
you guys. CM to Joe, and let me go to partners, conferences, and again, and okay. Yeah, I found the presentation. Very nice. Just give me a minute. Have you heard of 5 whys, Abhinav? Have you heard about 5 whys?
Yeah.
Right. So first of all,
Yes,
I would recommend you to use 5 whys. Right. But before I do that, I would like to share my screen with you guys. And let's share my screen. Okay. Can you see this presentation?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. So let me tell you what I'm about to say. So whenever you encounter any problem in supply chain, what we do is do this green part. What we generally historically do. What we do is we put a lot of time and effort in basically doing the let's call it identifying of the problem, lot of discussion, lot of analysis, and based on this analysis, we basically, you can see y-axis is an effort and x-axis is time. And then we list down the things, okay, we do this, we do that, that's our action list, and blah, blah. And then what happens is then your customer start, or your boss, your customer, whoever, start getting very fidgety, and then they say about, I need results, and then you spend less time and effort in actually implementing, right? And this is what actually happens. What I recommend people to do is this, in fact. What I recommend people to do is this part. You should actually spend less time and effort in fact in analysis, or I'm not saying don't do analysis, of course do analysis, but in terms of identifying the opportunities for improvement and discussion, less. But at the same time, as you can see, those circles was not overlapped, but I'm recommending it to make it overlap. At the same time, while you're doing this, you spend more time and effort in listing down your actions and identifying what things you want to improve, and actually more time in execution. Because the famous Deming's plan, do, check, act. Because the more you execute, then you're probably going to learn that you are in fact not on the right path, and maybe you need to go back and do the more data analysis to identify, to come up with the problem, and do it parallel. So don't do in, as I said, in this picture you are doing, do it in parallel, and do like an overlap version one by one. All right. So that is my recommendation. And there are tools available. There is a tools called 5 whys. You start with 5 whys, answer the question, and there are many other tools available to do that. Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Thank you, Abhinav, for your question. All right, guys, we literally have 5 minutes. I'll take one more question before we finish. Anyone?
Hey, this is Vishal.
Hello, Vishal. We can't see you.
Okay, just a moment. I think so. There's some issue with the camera.
All right. Anyone else?
Okay.
Meanwhile, Vishal is sorting his camera.
Okay, so can I go?
Okay, Vishal, fire away. We'll listen to you.
Okay, so thing is that hi Mudassar, my name is Vishal. I have 1.8 years of experience in supply chain as a materials planner.
Right.
So I've worked with company name as Flex. And currently I'm pursuing my master's in supply chain management in Dublin Institute of Technology, Ireland.
Very nice.
So my question is that currently the corona situation that has created a lot of issues in supply chain management.
Yeah.
So as the UK taking Brexit, so how is it going to affect the jobs in Ireland as well as UK?
Where are you based?
So currently I'm living in Dublin, Ireland.
And you expect me to answer this question to you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
As
the honest answer is I have no idea, not a clue, right? Because this whole, and that's why I don't know, I have not seen your question before, but because you're not in the list of the people who sent me the question. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is about 8 or 9 people have sent me a COVID related questions, right? And I said I'm not going to answer this, because if anybody right now can say they have a clue about what will be the impact of the jobs and the business based on this COVID situation, are nothing but bullshitting you, because no one have a clue. And let me tell you a scientific fact of that. The scientific of the fact is that this kind of events happen every 100 years. So the last epidemic was Spanish flu, right, where 15-20% of the population was gone, and this is now. So actually recently I read a very nice quote about forecasting of anything right now from Warren Buffett, and it says forecasting tells less about a forecast of future, less about future. It tells more about the forecaster, and that goes with anything, because right now we don't know when the pandemic will stop. We don't know that actually when the business will be open for the regular business, because we don't know the basic issue how long it will last. Therefore, we don't know that when the business will come to normality and will be impact on the job. We don't know that, right? So it will. I think it will be based on assumption. So if you assume that UK or US or any country will be open for business, the flights will be open from July, then you can say, okay, we have a 4 months of bad period. We have lost 20% of the revenue. Based on that 20% loss of the revenue, our bottom line impact is X amount. And therefore, based on that, we have to cut jobs or reduce whatever, right? Right now, we don't know actually, right? And because we don't know, I cannot answer your question. Sorry for that.
Okay. No worries.
All right. So I think, guys, 40 minutes are up. For some reason, Zoom is letting me do it. I can see Kamran hand is up. Actually, Shafaq hand is up. Shafaq, far away. How are you? Shafaq Khurram.
Hi.
Hi, Shafaq. Yes, we have been in touch on a lot of groups, right? WhatsApp groups and all that. LinkedIn. We never really talked before. So thanks for joining.
Yes. Actually, my team and my other colleagues, they're quite in touch with you.
All right.
Like Salman, Ikra, and others. They're well aware about what you're doing and the things that you're doing in promoting supply chain and working on different areas. That's really good.
I appreciate it, Shafaq. Thank you very much. So yeah, so tell us about yourself. What's your question?
I have over 10 years of experience in procurement.
Mm-hmm.
More likely in education, chemicals, banking, and then business enablement and parts of it in construction.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a bit of a diverse experience in procurement.
Very good.
My what I'm thinking about right now is I do get opportunities in different industries like oil and gas and manufacturing.
Right.
And personally, for me, I have a greater interest in aviation and manufacturing industry, like, or maybe FMCG, where I can get that true experience of supply chain.
Right.
My concern is whenever people go for an interview, moving from a banking industry or moving on from business enablement or from any industry, I would say, going towards manufacturing or FMCG. Their main concern is you don't have any experience in manufacturing. So how will you be able to take care of things? How will you be able to take care of things that are in manufacturing? And they're more looking into technical skills, technical knowledge. So I want to know, like, how important that technical knowledge is.
So technical knowledge in terms of technical knowledge of supply chain, correct?
No, technical knowledge of manufacturing.
All right.
Technical knowledge of FMCG.
Okay, right. So I personally believe, that's my personal view, that supply chain is a transferable skills, right? For example, right now I have worked for a company, 12 years, Eaton, and I moved from an electrical business to the hydraulic business, which is basically to aerospace business. So electrical business was very much, let's call it distribution based, FMCG like of business. Then the hydraulics and aerospace was very much, assembled to order, engineered to order, and then life safety. Then I moved to 100% aerospace, and now, a tire company, which is very different. And I never felt there was an issue. Maybe it's down to because I'm an engineer and it helps me to learn the engineering side things quicker. I like to think so, but it was not a showstopper. So the answer is, if somebody says you don't have a technical skills, you say, "Oh, for me, supply chain is a transferable skills. It doesn't matter if you're buying a widget, you're buying a sheet of metal, if you're buying a commodity, it doesn't matter, right? The basics of supply chain and procurement applies in most places. So that's that part. But however, there is also let's call a weightage in terms of a person who's interviewing you. It's that he can say, okay, I prefer to have somebody from FMCG because they know the manufacturing processes, and it does affect. It does affect to the person, and it's more a demand supply game. What I mean by that is this: that if you're applying for a job, whatever the job is, and there's 20 candidates, because there's always 20 plus candidates, and if you're in UAE, there are like 120 candidates for one job. You always say to pick a person who come from the same industry, because you just don't have to teach them. As a manager, it's just a lazy effort, and it's just your comfort zone saying, I'll pick a person who knows the industry. He or she knows how it works. As long as that person know the basic supply chain or know the basic skills and have good in leadership, skill, communication, I'll hire it. So it's in terms of applying for a job or being successful, I personally believe it make no difference. But I think it's all down to the person who's interviewing, and because they have so many choices, they always unfortunately take the easy option. So now I think what you need to do is to challenge that during the interview, politely and professionally, of course, and say that supply chain is a transferable skills. And in some cases, you can say you can bring some new skills which you have learned in, for example, in the industries like aviation or aerospace, which is very much let's call it a compliance base, which is very much in terms of quality standards. They need a very high quality standards, and you can bring those skills into your other job. So that would be my answer.
One more thing that I want to ask. So moving from procurement to supply chain,
yeah,
a lot of people, like people from HR, they're hesitant people getting from procurement into supply chain.
Yeah.
So why is that? I just
so understand. So the HR say you have done the supply chain, and why you want to move to procurement? Is that's what they're saying? Correct?
No, it's the other way around. So you're in procurement and want to move in supply chain. So they're hesitant of those people who are in procurement to take them into supply chain. So for them, they say supply chain, it's like very intense, but procurement, they feel that it's only purchasing. So I have to tell them that the difference sometimes between purchasing and procurement.
Right. Did you hear the questions Abhinav and Akash asked earlier? Who both of them are planners and most to learn procurement. Did you hear the answer?
I did.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you can see the answers I've given to them, and again, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I'm just sharing my experience, and that's the whole point of this webinar, is to share experience. I'm not saying I know everything, and I'm not saying I'm always right. It's just I'm sharing my experience. It's easier if you come from a supply chain, for example, supply chain background, which is more logistics, planning, demand planning, capacity planning, manufacturing. It's easier to move to procurement rather than a procurement guy or a girl who always work in terms of negotiation, contract management, and things like that, to move to planning, because planning needs a strong, high level of analytical skills. It does need a strong, let's call it a knowledge of manufacturing. You cannot be a good planner. You simply just cannot be a good planner unless you know the knowledge of manufacturing, and you know your lead times, you know your machine capacities, you know your manufacturing processes, right? It's a very important skill to have. So I'm not saying someone cannot learn. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the learning curve is higher, right? So what I can actually suggest you is, before you actually just go and apply from a hardcore procurement person to a planning job, what you need to do is to take one or two projects, right? take let's call it hardcore supply chain projects where you can demonstrate your skills. So let me tell you, you need to find a crossover project, because you just suddenly cannot say, oh, I want to become a production planner, or I want to become demand planner. What you could do is this. For example, there's a project I did with a person, vendor managed inventory, right? So we cannot introduce vendor managed inventory, right? Because it requires a contact management with suppliers. It requires to negotiate with the customer to have the inventories in place. It requires the ABC analysis and things like that. And it has an impact on the customer price. It has an impact on it has an impact on supplier price, and it also impact on the supplier cash flow. But if you manage to implement that project with your planning guys and able to show the benefit to a business that you have taken a project to work with your strategic suppliers, implement the vendor managed inventory, therefore you have reduced the lead time, therefore you have reduced the inventory, therefore you have actually improved the customer service to the end customer, it shows you that you have a very good understanding how the supply chain planning works. And then you can move away. The point I'm saying with this example, you have to find a crossover project to demonstrate that skill to back up your case. Am I making sense?
Yes, absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, guys. So that's enough. I think all the hands are gone. I would hopefully you enjoy it. So what we can do is this. If you follow my newsletter should have the invitations, or like I did ask you guys to fill a form in to show the interest and things like that. So for the future webinars, it will be a similar process. So fill the form in, and if you can and basically sign up. Once you sign up, we will organize a time. It may be generally over the weekends, maybe Friday, Saturdays for me, because that's the only time I'm available. And hopefully we stay in touch, and you can ask me any questions on social media, and I'm available on mostly everywhere: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So fire away, and hopefully you enjoy it. Send me a couple of lines by email, because all of you have my email as well. So let me know what do you think. And this recording will be available on YouTube, and I will be sharing with people, and hopefully you find it useful. So any final comments from anybody?
Yeah, Mr. Mudassar, how are you?
I'm fine. This is Kamran. You had the hands up before, right?
Yeah, actually, I did not have a question. That's why I did not disturb you.
Okay.
And other candidate as well.
No, sure,
I have
sure.
been with you since many years,
right?
But I never talked to you. So the reason is that I got busy in my personal life and office life.
Mhm.
But now I decided to be in contact with you and see what you are doing with the people practically. And I really enjoyed your suggestion to the people. And guys asked a very fabulous question, and of course your answer are always, because I followed you everywhere.
Okay, where are you based, Kamran? Where are you?
Actually, I am now in Qatar. I am a group inventory manager of one biggest retail company in Qatar.
Nice.
And one thing I wanted to tell everyone, because some of the questions are very common, that we came from X criteria, we want to go X. I worked with the VPs, directors, Englishmen, Scotland, everyone. The big giant in supply chain always had mechanical, and they are engineers.
Right.
They never been a good accountant. They never been a supply, because I am actually from Pakistan. I am a CA inter qualified. Then I moved to this industry. So it's been 10 years in this industry. And in our school and college, there is no, before 10 years or 2005, when we were in inter, there were no concept of supply chain, only IT, doctor and engineer and this. But trust me, all good supply chain people in the world are engineers.
Right, I agree. My background is engineering as well. Okay, Kamran, thanks for your thoughts.
You are the best example. So I will be following you, even though I have a question or I don't have a question. Of course, I need to learn a lot from you. I am actually forecasting my exam of CPIM very soon.
Very nice.
So I will learn something, and inshallah I will support you also in this course.
Thank you very much, Kamran. I appreciate that, and thanks to everybody for joining. I mean, honestly, we had 21 subscribers. I think 40 people, 39 people have signed up. 21 is a very good turnout, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys, staying in touch. I wish everybody to be safe, and best of luck. Stay in touch. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you guys all.
Bye. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments below.